everyone, coming back at you with another makeup tutorial. This is a glitter cut crease. It didn't turn out exactly the way I hoped, but I'm still going to make it work and I'm still going to show you guys because not every makeup look has to be exactly perfect. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to first start by using my Ciao de Janeiro Brazilian Kiss Lip Butter. You guys have seen me use this in like the last 5 makeup tutorials. I always like to start with this just to moisturize my lips, and you can tell I'm almost out because I've been using this stuff and loving it. I will leave a link to everything down below. I'm also going to be using the Acai Body Butter from Ciao de Janeiro. This is a great body cream. It has antioxidants, it's great for your skin, and most importantly, to me, it smells so good. So I like to put it on my hands because, as you guys know, you work with your hands when you put your makeup on, so I like my hands to smell nice. Some people might think that's silly, but I love it. It's also great for all over the body too. I'm just going to speed through the brows. I've been doing my brows the same way for the last 4 years. I've said that in every tutorial. I just fill it in with the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. Super easy, and then I brush it through the hairs. Nothing new there. I'm going to go in with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm going to use this to really sculpt out the brows. And I'm going to take that all the way down, drag it down, and then put some setting powder on top just to set it. Basically using it as a clean base for the entire eye, and then go in with the eyeshadow. I don't do this all the time because it is an extra step. It takes a little bit more time. And once you set that concealer, well, before you set it with the powder, you want to move kind of quick or else it can crease. So if you have oily eyelids, this is a really good trick. If you have dry or normal skin, I wouldn't say do this because if the skin on your eyes is dry, it might make the skin look cracked or even more dry. But if you have oily eyelids like I do, definitely try this out. So now I'm going in with the Laura Mercier setting powder and setting that, and you can see it just gives me a nice, clean, smooth base and surface. Now I'm going in, I always forget if this is the Morphe 35R, I don't know, I'll leave a link to it down below. I did a whole makeup tutorial on this palette. I'm taking that brown shade and putting it all in the crease. I think it's the 35R. I'm still indifferent about this palette, I don't know. It's just too many like neutral shades for me, but it does help for basic shades, I guess. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts on this palette down below. I'm going to take a light pale white shade and put that all over. Well, actually, I'm only putting it on the innermost part of the lid. So I'd say from the innermost part to about the center of the lid, and then dragging it out lightly to cover the outer half of the lid because we're going to be putting other colors on the outer half, green colors anyways, so I didn't focus too much on the outer corner, mostly on the inner corner. Now I'm going to go into my Makeup Forever palette. It's the 9 Artist Shadow palette. You know that Makeup Forever names their palettes really weird. And this is the color ME302, this really beautiful green shade. I have a love-hate relationship with this palette. Some of the colors super pigmented, like this green shade you're looking at. It's like a deep emerald green, gorgeous, blends perfectly, and then like the pink shade, the purple shade, I really struggle with the pigmentation. So I don't find that the shadows are consistent at all, but the shadows that are good are very good. So I'll leave a link to this palette down below. Next up, I'm going to take, this is the Wet n Wild Boardwalk Boozing palette. I'm going to take that light green shade. It's a very pretty color. I think this palette was limited edition. It came out last summer. If I can find it online, I'll link it down below. But if I can't, you can just use any like light green shade that you have. You don't ever have to use the exact same palettes and colors that I am using. Once I've got that on the center of the lid, so you can see it's kind of like a gradient. We have the white on the inner corner, the pale green, and then the deeper green. So it's just like light to dark. I'm going to go with my Galactic liner and do a pretty dramatic wing liner because I'm going to use that line to basically be the start for the glitter cut crease. I'm taking this glitter that I literally got from the beauty supply store for $3, and it's a very pretty like bright teal greenish blue color. Now here's the part where I kind of messed up. Because I have very creased eyes, my eyes aren't hooded, but they're very creased, I need to use a very, very thin brush for this, and I did not. So the glitter ends up being very, very thick. It's not a thin, precise line as I would have liked it to be. So it ended up, in my opinion, looking kind of messy, but everyone that saw it was like, that's really pretty. What are you talking about? I just think the line was a little too thick. And you can see as I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm not really happy with that. And unfortunately, when you're doing a glitter cut crease, it's really hard to fix it without messing up that eyeshadow, the green, the white that we already put on. So you kind of just have to go with it. So I ended up having to just keep making it thicker and thicker, and it just kept pissing me off more and more. You can tell, like, I'm looking at it like, oh, how am I going to fix this? So just a word to the wise, if you have hooded eyelids or if you have very creased eyelids like I do, try to use as thin of a brush as you can. And also I used a lot of glitter glue. I shouldn't have used as much. And you can see I'm trying to fix it, but in the end I just end up spreading it even more. So the end result ended up being a very, very thick line of glitter, which I didn't really care for, but I still wore the makeup throughout the day and a lot of people complimented me on it. So I just wanted to post this to show you everything doesn't have to be perfect. You give it your best try and you just keep going. So now I'm going to go in with the Shock Mascara from YSL Beauty. I love this mascara wand. Yes, it is blue, but once you put it on the eyelids, it is not as vibrant as blue as it looks like on the wand. It's a very subtle blue, and I just really love the wand because it's really great at making your lashes longer. Moving on to foundation, I am using this Real Techniques foundation brush. Real Techniques actually sent this brush to me as part of a kit, and I love it. It's just so great at packing on your foundation when pressing it into the skin. It just makes your foundation look so much more skin-like. I love it. As you can see, I'm not swiping. I press the foundation into the skin, and I'm using L'Oreal Infallible foundation. I am well aware this foundation is not my skin color, but I mean, they're very limited in shades in this foundation, so I just make the best with what I've got. Moving on, I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. Honestly, I've had this concealer for like 2 years. I really should throw it out. 2 or 3 years. This stuff lasts forever. It's not as high coverage as concealer as I would like, but I still use it because it's nice when you want something lighter. And since the L'Oreal foundation is very, very thick, almost like Kat Von D Lock-It foundation thick or even thicker, I wanted something a little bit lighter, so this is good for that, especially during summertime. If you're looking for a lighter concealer, definitely recommend checking that out. Now I'm going to set that with my Laura Mercier translucent powder. That's the same powder that I used to set the eyes. Remember when I put the concealer from the brow bone all the way down the eyelids. Love this concealer. I'm sorry, this powder. Whenever I use that powder, my concealer or wherever I put the powder does not budge. Next up, we're going to move on to, are we doing contouring? We're going to do contouring. We're going to move on to the Graftobian HD Cream Palette, Cream Palette, that's what it's called. I love this. You guys have seen me use this in like the last 5 makeup tutorials. It melts into the skin. You need very little product. I'm using that deep brown shade to contour the nose. Sometimes I use the lighter shades to highlight under the eyes. I love this palette. It's perfect for traveling. You can mix and match shades to match your perfect color. Love it, love it, love it. Next in, I'm going up with the Real Techniques Point L Multi-Tech Brush. You guys have seen me use this brush for blush in the last couple of videos. I can't believe I was able to say that without tongue twisting myself. I love this brush. It just blends out your blush so seamlessly, makes it so easy, and I love the handle. Moving on, I'm going to go back into that Makeup Forever palette and finish it off with that emerald green that we put on the outer corner on the lower lash line. And then I need to put my wig on because it wouldn't be a tutorial if I didn't put my hair on. Got the wig on, and now I'm going to go in with a light pale pink lipstick. I can't remember the name exactly. I'll leave a link to it down below. I felt like I needed something soft just to finish off the look. And then that is it. It didn't turn out perfectly the way I wanted to, but I like the end result. I hope that you do too. Don't forget to check out the videos on the screen. I'll also leave a link to the blog on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. That is it for me, guys, and I will see you next time. I hope that you enjoyed. Bye.